Have you ever wondered why life often feels like it is always waiting to begin? We tell ourselves, one day when I succeed, when I love, when I find peace, then I will finally start living. But Emily Dickinson, the poet of silence and eternity, whispers something very different. Forever is composed of nows. This single line contains a truth so deep, so challenging, that it has the power to transform how you live today. Emily Dickinson lived much of her life inside the quiet walls of her home in Amherst, Massachusetts. To many, she seemed hidden, almost invisible to the bustling world outside. Her neighbors might have seen her as the reclusive woman in white, tending to her garden, writing letters by candlelight, choosing solitude over society's demands. But in that stillness, she discovered something most of us never stop to see. That eternity is not somewhere far away, nor locked in the future, but hidden in the smallest, most ordinary moments. She shows us that forever is not a distant horizon we must climb toward, but this breath, this heartbeat, this now. But why do we miss it? Why do we constantly run toward tomorrow, chasing what always seems just out of reach? Why does the present moment feel like a waiting room, rather than the main event? Because we are taught to believe that life is a race. That happiness is waiting at the finish line of success. That peace will come only when all problems disappear. That love will be complete only when someone else validates us. That meaning will reveal itself only when we achieve enough, earn enough, become enough. But Emily knew the trap of this way of living. She understood that while we chase the illusion of tomorrow's perfection, life is happening right under our noses. She believed that the present moment, this now, is not a step toward forever. It is forever. Think about it deeply. Every joy you have ever felt happened in a moment of now. Every loss, every lesson, every love, all of it unfolded in the present. The laughter that made your heart light, the tears that brought you wisdom, the touch that made you feel alive, the silence that brought you peace. None of these existed in the past or future. They lived, breathed, and transformed you in the eternal now. The past lives only as memory, the future only as imagination. The only place life truly exists, where your heart actually beats, where your breath actually flows, where love actually touches you, is here, right now. Yet we spend most of our energy anywhere but here. We live in regrets of yesterday, replaying conversations we cannot change, mourning opportunities we cannot reclaim. Or we live in anxieties of tomorrow, creating elaborate fantasies of future disasters, building castles in the air of our dreams. We forget that the eternal is not waiting somewhere else. It is already happening. It has always been happening. Emily Dickinson's life teaches us this paradox beautifully. She rarely traveled beyond her father's house. She never lived the big life the world praises. No grand adventures, no public acclaim, no dramatic romances played out on the world's stage. But her poetry reveals that she touched infinity by paying radical attention to the present. A bee in her garden became a meditation on purpose. A ray of afternoon light streaming through her window became a revelation of divine presence. The silence of a closed room became a cathedral of contemplation. The changing seasons outside her door became lessons in impermanence and renewal. For Emily, these were not trivial details to rush past on the way to something more important. They were eternity itself, dressed in the humble clothes of the everyday. Because when you give full attention to a single moment, when you stop rushing through it to get somewhere else, you step into forever. Why does this matter for you, living in our hyper-connected, hyperactive world? Because if forever is composed of nows, then what you do with this moment, not next week, not next year, but this very moment, is the most important choice of your life. Every time you postpone your joy, waiting for a future that never arrives exactly as you imagine, you abandon forever. Every time you tell yourself, I'll be happy when, or life will begin when, you miss the life that is already unfolding. But every time you enter the present fully, whether in laughter, silence, love, or even pain, you touch eternity. You become part of the eternal dance that Emily discovered in her garden, in her solitude, in her deep attention to what is. This is not easy in a world of constant noise. Our culture trains us to escape the now with relentless efficiency. Smartphones buzzing with urgent nothing, social media promising connection while delivering distraction, endless entertainment designed to keep us anywhere but here. We are taught to distract ourselves, to scroll endlessly, to avoid silence at all costs, to fear being alone with our own thoughts. But Emily invites us into that silence. She shows us that the eternal is not loud, it is subtle. Not urgent but patient. Not flashy but profound. And when you dare to sit in the now, when you brave the quiet, you find that forever is already holding you. So how do we live this truth? How do we embody Emily's wisdom in our daily lives? How do we stop being tourists in our own existence and become residents of the present moment? First, we must stop running. Stop believing that life begins only when everything is perfect, when all the conditions align, when we finally have enough money, time, love, or recognition. The truth that Emily discovered in her deliberate solitude is this: life has already begun. It began with your first breath, and it is happening right now, in this very sentence you are reading. Second, we must learn to pay attention like Emily did. She could find eternity in the flight of a bird because she watched with the kind of attention that most of us reserve only for emergencies. You can find that same eternity in the breath you are taking right now, in the weight of your body in this chair, in the presence of someone you love, in the silence between two words, in the way light falls across your hands. The sacred is not hidden in remote temples or future achievements. It is woven into the fabric of this ordinary, extraordinary moment. And third, we must embrace the fragility of time. Emily understood something that our culture tries desperately to deny. The reason now is precious is precisely because it does not last. Every moment is a visitor that will never return. But when you enter it fully, when you greet it with presence instead of distraction, it becomes eternal in memory, in meaning, in the way it changes you. Emily Dickinson wrote, "That it will never come again is what makes life so sweet." She knew that the beauty of life lies not in its permanence, but in its impermanence. The flower is precious because it fades. The sunrise is holy because it cannot be repeated. The now is sacred because it never returns in exactly the same form. This understanding transforms how we love, how we grieve, how we celebrate, how we simply breathe. So what happens when we live like this? When we stop postponing life and realize that forever is happening now, we begin to love differently. We no longer wait for the perfect moment to say, "I love you." We say it now, in the imperfect, beautiful messiness of today. We stop holding back affection until we feel more worthy, until they prove they deserve it, until the timing is ideal. We love now because now is all we have. We begin to forgive differently. We no longer wait for tomorrow to release old wounds, for them to apologize first, for the perfect words to heal everything. We choose peace now, not because it's easy, but because carrying resentment into another now is too heavy a burden for the soul. We begin to create differently. We stop waiting for inspiration to strike, for conditions to be perfect, for someone to give us permission. We write the poem now, sing the song now, paint the picture now, because creativity lives in the present moment, not in someday's distant promise. We begin to live differently. We stop surviving only for weekends or vacations, postponing joy until retirement, marking time until the next big event. We bring eternity into this very hour, finding wonder in Tuesday afternoon, sacredness in washing dishes, poetry in ordinary conversation. Emily Dickinson's wisdom is not about passivity. It is not about ignoring the future or abandoning responsibility. It is about realizing that the future is built out of the bricks of your present attention. Every tomorrow emerges from the quality of your today. Every dream is either nourished or starved by how fully you inhabit this moment. Forever is not later. Forever is this breath filling your lungs. Forever is this word touching your consciousness. Forever is this heartbeat connecting you to the rhythm of existence. And when you understand this, really understand it not just intellectually but in your bones, life stops being something to chase and becomes something to receive. So let me ask you, where are you right now? Not just physically, though that matters too, the chair you're sitting in, the light around you, the temperature of the air, but in presence. Are you here, really here, or are you lost in what is gone and what has not yet arrived? Are you present to this moment? Or are you mentally rehearsing tomorrow's conversations, reliving yesterday's mistakes, planning next week's escape? Because if forever is composed of nows, then eternity is asking for your attention, right here, right now. Not demanding it with urgency, but inviting it with infinite patience. Emily Dickinson lived her life mostly unseen by the world. She published fewer than a dozen poems in her lifetime, chose solitude over society, mystery over fame. Yet she saw more of forever than most of us ever will because she lived not in waiting, but in presence. Not in someday, but in today. Not in the grand gesture, but in the quiet revelation. Her hundreds of poems, discovered after her death, were love letters to the present moment, hymns to the eternal now, proof that a life lived fully present touches infinity. And that is her timeless invitation to you. To stop waiting for life to begin. To stop running toward a tomorrow that exists only in imagination. To realize that what you seek in the distant horizon, peace, joy, meaning, love, fulfillment, is already here, waiting patiently in this very moment. Forever is not tomorrow. Forever is not next year. Forever is not when you finally get it all figured out. Forever is composed of nows. And now is the only time you can live. The only time you can love. The only time you can be truly alive. So breathe deeply. Look around you. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice the miracle of your existence. Welcome yourself home to the eternal now. This is Emily's gift to you. The recognition that you are already living in forever.